tonight I want to introduce a simple Tex-Mex or Mexican meal that we usually tend to have at restaurants. It's usually one of the options at a Mexican restaurant. And yes, it involves chicken. So, chicken fajita. So what I did with this was pre-thawed it yesterday. It was frozen in a Ziploc. But what I did was, before I put it in the Ziploc, I decided, well, what meal am I going to make with it? So I chose the fajita, and I wanted to kind of tenderize and pre-season it so that it'll be easier for me to just, take out, chop up, and then just throw in the skillet, which is what I did. So right now I'm emptying my bag product, and I have it seasoned with Italian seasoning, lemon juice, salt, pepper, garlic, and a little bit of paprika. And I'm just chopping it up as we go. So once I'm done chopping it up, I'm gonna put it in my cast iron, which is currently heating up. I already have it pretty warm, and I have a tablespoon of olive oil. Once that is done, I'm gonna go ahead and pour this in there. But I don't wanna cross-contaminate. I have my hands dirty. Once I'm done chopping everything up, I will be adding it to my pan, and I will incorporate my vegetables afterwards. So again, I pre-chopped these vegetables. This is bell pepper and onion. And I think I have a little bit of serrano pepper in there too for a little kick. But not too much, because it comes with the heat, all right? So keep that in mind. If you want pepper in there, just use bell pepper if you don't like spicy. The chicken that I have is it looks like just chicken breast. I thought I had thighs in there, I do not. But it is approximately 2 pounds to 2.5 pounds. And this will feed a family of 4. With tacos and maybe a side of rice and beans. If you're just feeding, like a main meal, I would say 3 people to fully fill you up without any sides if you're just eating them in tacos or by itself. So what we're gonna do now is keep an eye on our chicken, make sure it doesn't over dry, but it looks like it's starting to come to like halfway cooking. So let me show you what it looks like. Oh, it's hot. Remember I told you the skillets, these cast iron skillets, they heat up rather quickly. There we go. So it's starting to look white and you don't see much pink anymore. That means you're doing a good job. And you can start moving it around a little bit more. So the trick also is, if you wanted to heat quicker, don't heat it up too high, but definitely put a lid on there so it won't over dry, okay? So we're gonna give it a quick stir, and we're gonna let it cook on this side for a little bit longer until it's fully cooked. And then we're gonna add our veggies. That'll be our last ingredient. And then as far as sides, if you wanna do rice, I would probably go with the Mexican rice because the fajita, it's gonna have a nice Mexican touch to it, like lime juice and whatnot. So, and that nice spicy flavor, and it typically goes better with Mexican rice. It's not that complicated. You really only need to use tomato and onion and garlic. And well, check this out. This is a trick that I learned from someone years ago. It's canned tomato sauce. You use like maybe half of that, and then use fresh tomato. And I blend the fresh tomato to get that fresh raw flavor along with the sauce, which will give it that nice red color instead of using artificial colorings like they do. Like there's these little orange packets with I think it's like saffron, sofrito or something. I don't know, I can't recall, but it's a Goya brand. And I don't want to, it has a good flavor, but if you really read the ingredients in the back, they're actually not the healthiest. So you don't want to use dyes, anything artificial in your food. So I stopped using that, and I just went with the natural alternative, which is just paprika for coloring and for flavor. Well, any other spices and herbs will do. And I'm gonna cover the chicken back up to make sure it doesn't dry out. And we're gonna let it sit there for another 5 to 7 minutes. I'm gonna bring up the heat a little bit more, medium high. I emptied all the chicken that I had here, cut it all up. So this is what it looks like now that I have everything chopped up. And I added a teaspoon of coconut oil in my pan as well, just to give it a nice little flavor. It adds some sweetness to it. Ready for the sizzle? Are you sure? Okay, here we go. Spread it out evenly. Let it cook a little bit from one side before you try to move it. You want to make sure that you get the bottom seared properly before you turn it, so that all you're going to do is tear the chicken apart because it hasn't created that layer, that skin layer on the bottom, that crunchy layer. So let's just leave it there for a bit. You know what chicken tastes like when it's fully cooked. When it's not, it's chewy. When it's fully cooked, you don't have pink in there, and it's white and it starts flaking off. So yeah, let me get going with that and start cleaning as I go, because the last thing you need is a really messy kitchen when you're done cooking. So while that's cooking on this side, I'm gonna go ahead and clean my surface, sanitize, and wash some dishes, and I'll get back to this chicken, and then we'll add the vegetables once it's ready. I hear it. You start seeing the veggies stick and caramelize, and you hear the oil starting to do its job. That's when you want to turn it off. You don't want to over dry it, but you would like to have some crispy pieces of chicken. Definitely give it at least one layer, one toss. Oh, you know what? I wanted to do something real quick. Lime. Chop up some limes, key limes, and I'm gonna go ahead and squeeze them in our chicken. Heat off. Like I said, this skillet's gonna keep this stuff sizzling for quite a little bit since it's really hot. Get all the seeds out if you can ahead of time. You'll get a couple of them falling in here. That's quite all right. Last one. Okay, and another little bit more of salt, because the acidity will kind of overpower it, and you're good to go. Heat's off, so now all we want to do is plate it. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab my rice and my beans from fridge, because this is gonna be a Mexican meal, all right, guys? I'm gonna go ahead and incorporate our rice first. Meal prep dish. I got some rice in here, Mexican rice like I mentioned earlier. Take that chunk of onion out. All right, that looks maybe a little bit more to cover up the bottom. So just a thin layer. You don't need too much. You really don't want to load up in carbs unless you're really hungry. Get a good handful of that chicken. Fajita. Look at that. Oh my Lord. I couldn't be prouder of myself. Okay, that sounds a little cocky, right? And I had already pre-cooked some Mexican beans, pinto beans. I want to say Mexican because that's what I affiliate Mexican with. Pinto beans. All right, and that's it. This is going to be your meal prep dish. There you go, guys. Chicken fajita over rice and a side of beans. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or any doubts or any suggestions on how to make it. But it looks fairly good to eat now, but I'm full. I'm not gonna have anything else tonight. Till tomorrow.